All right, Bard, so we got into the Olympic spirit on Friday night.
Yeah, what's that, mate? Just coming second.
Yeah, exactly.
The Australian Olympic spirit, unfortunately. Should have got some of that Pommy one going.
Nominators for absolute certainty to be premiers, and there you go. Yeah, you got some scores?
I do, unfortunately, mate. I've got Hawthorn 17-14, 116. Geelong 18-10, 118.
But I actually didn't want to know that score. I wanted another one with 30 seconds to go.
Well, we'll make that Hawthorn 116, Geelong 112.
Hey! That's better. Goal kickers.
Goal kickers are Gunstall with 4, Bruce 2, Piopolo 2, Rioli 2, Burgoyne 2, and singles to Lewis, Hale, Whitecross, Sewell, and Jared Roughhead.
And your votes in the Bardslow?
Votes, mate, I've given all 5 this week because I thought other than that first quarter we were pretty good for the game. So 5 votes go to the great man David Hale. I thought that was probably his best game in the ruck for the club. 13 disposals, 32 hitouts. He was instrumental in that last quarter when we were coming, mate. He was getting very good hitouts to advantage. Kicked a goal and laid a few tackles as well. So good game by Hale. The old man Sully back to his best in the middle, giving him 4 votes. I've given 3 to Rioli. Probably would have got 5 if he had kept playing on instead of pulling up that one run down the ground. 2 to Gunstall for his 4 goals and 1 to Roughhead for another all-round performance.
Excellent, Bards. It's good to know that you weren't bitter after the end of that game.
Not at all, mate. So the other score was Bards 1, Coke bottle 0. And lucky it wasn't Grant's leg 0.
Yes, that poor Coke bottle. It did get a battering at the end of the game.
Still, the MCG seats got a kicking on the way up the aisles as well.
The game in a minute, because it was all done in half a minute. Was it Poppy's fault?
Mate, a team should not be 51 points down against a team that they're favoured to beat. So to blame Piopolo, all right, at the end it probably was his fault. It was a silly idea to kick that out of the air. Even a point would have been a better result there because they would have at least have to have set up, but they just went bang, bang, bang from there. Having said that, mate, first quarter, it's where we obviously lost the game without going to be genius to figure that out. Giving up 9 goals in the first quarter, and they were all easy too. It was just stupid. A couple of bad decisions probably went against us, but mate, I thought our inability to slow that game down in the first quarter, which is what needed to happen. Once they had 4 or 5 on the board, I thought when we got possession, we would have been better off icing the clock a bit, maybe going backwards a little bit, trying to take a bit of sting out of it. Geelong were up and firing. When we got the ball, we just ran our normal game forward hard, and when it turned over, they went back twice as hard and they got another goal. So, yeah, I thought we lost in the first quarter, but I thought it showed a lot about how good we're capable of being after quarter time.
Hey, is Showmakers going to cost us a final or a grand final?
I think, to be honest, I don't know who would have played a better game on Hawkins away the form he was in again the other night. Obviously, he does look good against Shoemakers. Remember that Hawkins did that against Ben Reid last year in the grand final? All-Australian centre-half back. No one would have stopped the last goal. That was on a good lead. And the one before that was an intercept handball. So, look, he's probably a little bit hard done by. He did get out-bodied. He didn't get a lot of help again. Geelong did that well. They separated. Podziali, I think, played as a decoy most of the night because he didn't really get near the ball, but he kept Gibson away from the contest, which didn't help us at all. So, mate, we got it back to Kid. He's the best option we've got down there, other than maybe throwing Roughhead back to give him a chop out. But I don't think a sides will score enough for that to be the cost of us losing the game. We're capable of outscoring sides even with the bloke. Yeah, he's kicked 6 goals. Hawkins probably played as well as he can. We've lost by 2 points after giving up a 9-goal lead. So I don't think he'll cost us a final, but he does need to keep getting better.
I reckon we missed Buddy finally in that game.
Yes, out there that thought we were a better side without him will have to eat some words, although we're not going to know for another week by the looks of it. But yeah, look, I think Buddy plays will probably win the game. He's got to be good for at least 1 goal a game, doesn't he? Draws the attention, and he would have gone up the ground. I reckon he would have stamped himself on that game even in the last few minutes there.
He would have forced Taylor to play on him.
Yeah, exactly right, and Taylor did manage to get in the way and take a lot of marks, so having an extra one down there would have definitely helped.
So to round this segment out, I received a text message from David White, who's one of our members, and it said, Cats have 9 lives, that was their 9th. Do we reckon that's the case, and will we be prepared to meet them in the finals?
Mate, I'd love to play him in the final because I'd love to beat him in one and tell him that's what it's about, but I'd rather not play him at all. I just don't trust us against them. It's just too frustrating.
Righto, let's take a break and regroup for this week's game. Righto, Bards, round 20, and our game is on Sunday at 1:10, Hawks versus Port at Aurora Stadium. Now this is going to be an interesting game.
It's got a new dimension to it now, mate, with the Matthew Primus falling on his sword and taking a walk. I think they gave him till the end of the year, and he said, "I'm out of here." That's a silly business being around after that. So he's gone, and have to know it, wouldn't you? It's just bloody Geelong bloke that's taken over. Just Hockin.
Whiskers.
He's got the reins. Whatever you have on a power, he's going to be the man in charge. Mate, they need him to play, to be honest. Even at his age, he'd probably get a game for him. So it's interesting for us. We need to regroup, come out. We need to look after our percentage still. It could become important yet, especially with Sydney. If they happen to drop a couple of games, our percentage will get us ahead of them. So very important game. Hopefully we can come out firing.
So, no, Buddy, what's this about a 1 week hamstring injury?
Well, mate, it's a bit of a concern. Obviously a little bit worse than what has been said originally. Obviously taken a no-risk approach, especially with this game, and dare I say it, next week as well if he's not 100%. A little disappointed. It doesn't worry me that much, but I know a lot of members do get really annoyed with being left in the dark. A lot of super coaches out there are absolutely throwing things against the wall because they've carried him for a couple of weeks thinking he's going to be out for 1 or 2. This is his make it 5 weeks, I think. So that is a bit of a worry. Having said that, mate, we've obviously still got the cattle out there that we can take care of them. We've had a few wins, being a Sunday game, so they've added to the squad Alice, Gillum, Bailey and Taylor Duray, and going out this stage just nasty man Liam Shields.
I can't believe he did that.
Well, apparently there's some footage there that he may have been retaliated into a bit of...
Well, I can understand why he did it then.
I have not brought myself to watch a replay of that game to see anything like that, but that's what I did read somewhere, albeit on a not so illustrious football website.
So, of these 4 ins, who plays, who doesn't play?
I think Bailey plays. Got a strange feeling, mate. Even with Buddy Air, I would not be surprised if one Jared Rufford does not participate in this game. Training today, he was not. So apparently just kicked back in some casual clothes and had a look. They didn't do much at all at training, but he was not part of it, which I was there about this time last year for a function, and Sam Mitchell was in the same spot when they rested him, and he just watched him train as well in his casual clothes. So I've got a feeling Rufford might miss this one, just for a freshen up, allow Clarko to have a look at Bailey and Hale together. So I think he might miss. So I'd say Bailey in. They've got to replace Shields. So Bailey comes in, say, for Rufford. They've got to replace Shields. Can't see much point in whacking Duray unless they want to sort of tempt him into hanging around the club in case he's keen to move to get an opportunity. Alice is an interesting one. Did all right at Box Hill last week, but wasn't super impressive. He's a player that if they could get him in and get him fit, he might be a chance to stay in the side, whereas Duray, there's no way he's going to be ahead of the other bloke. So for me, I reckon they're going to give Alice a game and Bailey, and you'll see Shields and Rufford coming out.
By all accounts, Gillum played a blinder last week.
Did you watch a game?
No, I didn't, but I've heard on several fronts that he actually played a blinder, and that was one of the reasons I asked you about Showmakers, because now the debate is Gillum versus Showmakers.
It's an option, and they may well do, especially if Ruffhead is going to miss. There is that opportunity, I guess, that they may play Gillum in the team and push Shoemakers forward again. They may even freshen Shoemakers up as well. There's no reason why they, if we're talking about giving forwards a rest, why wouldn't we give a defender a rest after a big year? So, just ease him up a bit before the final. So I think the thing with Shoemakers, though, is that he's just been beaten. I don't reckon you want to wake the kid's confidence too much. I'd rather play him and let him get back on top again.
I'll tell you one backman you wouldn't replace, and then it's Goo. Because didn't he bring the game to life last week? Mate, good old him and Chapman.
It's just a shame that Chapman didn't stay down. The fact that they even looked at that as a possible report and cleared it, like last time I checked, if you've got the ball and you're in the air, what are you supposed to do when someone comes at you? Just get out the way. But he did bring the game alive and that. The silly one, though, was the one he did give away to Pods. It wasn't a reportable incident, but it was a silly thing to do, even though Pods hit the ground like a $2 lovely lady. It was a bit nasty. It wasn't called for and it cost us a goal. But yeah, no, Goo's handy. He won't be going anywhere. He's permanent back there, and we're a better side with him in it. Gives us that bit of toughness.
Goo made Podsiadlis and Chapman look like Ronaldo and Nani, didn't he?
Yeah, that's probably good analogy, Grant. I'd imagine that's the case.
And we're warming up to the Premier League here, Bards. That's why we thought we'd start slipping some of the soccer analogies in.
Only 9 days to go, Grant. Look that we're counting.
And I've just got an email in from Wetters, so let's make mention of Wetters, who said, I'm into the Premier League tipping competition and Skyping tomorrow. So we won't hear from him today, but he's around.
So he's on his computer right now. You only just sent that email out, so he's replied to it, but he can't just hit the Skype button and join him.
No.
Must be a busy man. He's probably watching Australia's Gold Rush.
Right, margin.
I have gone with one of my standards, mate. I've gone 11 goals.
All right, I'm going 37 points.
Yeah, all right. You're always on a bit conservative side. I just think we need to come out and whack them and just show the competition that we really do mean business.
So Bard's a blast?
Mate, I've no blasting to do this week. I could line up several targets, especially Paul Chapman for his little knee to the head of a Hawthorn player there, which seemed to go unnoticed by all media during the week. But I'm going to save my energy. I'm going to direct it at someone who's really going to need it soon.
Jeff Geeshan doesn't need it?
Well, mate, Jeff Geeshan decided that who was the bloke that Rioli ran down? Was it Mitch Duncan? Decided that that was a fair decision because he did not have any opportunity. Ludicrous.
I'm still not getting a blast, Bards?
No, I'm not going to blast him. I can't be bothered with him.
Players to watch. We never talked really about that.
My players to watch, again, as last week, and Bailey didn't get there last week, so again, I've got Bailey down as one to watch. Apparently he was just out with a bit of a flu or something like that. Didn't play at Box Hill either. Needs to impress if he wants to play finals. Heiko will want to have a look at the options there, especially if we have to come up against Geelong, because it would give us the option of using Roughhead back, even though he seems a bit not willing to try that one. And the other one's dodgy, mate. He had second game blues, I reckon. Didn't get among it a lot and went off at 3/4 times and stuff. But time for him to step up and play 4 quarters, and hopefully we get some good quarters out of him and he fires up again like he did in the first week.
Now, let's move into that great segment we started with last week, which was winners in a word. Did you love that music?
Oh, it's very clever, Grant. It's going to be tough winners in a word this week. It's a few close games.
And if you play the tape back, and of course we don't tape it because that'd be old-fashioned, about 4 games in, we went to winners in 2 words.
So we're going to stick to one word this week.
One word. One word.
One word, one letter, one line, and I feel a whole lot better.
Eagles.
Eagles.
Saints.
Sainters.
Crows.
Freo.
Giants.
Giants.
Collingwood.
Sydney.
Carlton.
Blues.
Richmond.
Tigers.
Shinboners.
Roos. And that was successfully winners in a word.
Lovely. The Shinboners one word.
So, Bards, we've moved on to YouTube.
We have indeed, mate. We had our last week's show up there. Well, I don't think we've promoted that one heavily, but we will push this one up when it hits the YouTube waves, and hopefully it broadens our audience somewhat.
Well, I thought it was okay. We've had 9 views so far. You've viewed it 4 times, I've viewed it 5.
That's all right, 9 views. That's a start, mate. That's some idea of how many people are actually listening, and it does make it more accessible. So tell your friends, pass it around. Next week's will be better when we come out and talk about a win.
Exactly right. So, won't see you at the footy.
No.
Where will you be, Bards?
I will be behind the bar, I'd imagine, Grant.
And I'll have to record it, Bards, because the little bloke's playing in the second semi-final.
Best of luck to him. Are you participating in the umpiring duties?
Yep, apparently I'm doing the boundary.
They bring the best out for the finals, do they?
Of course they do.
Best of luck to the young fella, and best of luck to the Hawks, and let's be talking next week after a big win.
Go Hawks!
Go Hawks!